Fox Sports.
We are the Fourth. We are Florida.
Yesterday, the Marlins enjoyed a laugher. Big bats, big hits, lots of them. 21 total, a 14-3 win. But today, one of baseball's finest toils for the Reds, the electric Johnny Cueto. Miami turns to Dan Herron, Miami's best this year. The sun sets on baseball's first half. It's Reds, it's Marlins in Miami. On a Sunday afternoon in sunny Miami, the Reds and the Marlins close baseball's first half. And for the Fish, a chance to get to 38 wins. A banged-up Marlin team, but a chance to win this series. Cole Gillespie, one of the Fish that had a big day yesterday. But Johnny Cueto and Dan Herron will try to keep the runs down. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz, along with Tommy Hutton. It's a final game of the first half, leading to the All-Star break. Stirring win for the Marlins yesterday because the hits, for a while, they weren't coming. They all came yesterday.
Yeah, it was a barrage yesterday. Very interesting, too, because remember the 12-run performance the Marlins had against the Yankees. Then things quieted down a little bit. You'd like to sustain it a little bit longer this time. However, with the break coming, makes it a little difficult. But here's a look at what happened, especially in that seventh inning. 13 batters came to the plate. There was a team record 9 consecutive base hits. That 9th hit was supplied by Mike Dunn, the hitter. He was all smiles in the Marlins clubhouse today talking about that. 10 hits in 1 inning. That tied a club record. There were a couple of guys who were a triple short of the cycle. JT Realmuto and Cole Gillespie. All kinds of things happened offensively. 11 for 19 in the game with runners in scoring position.
This should be fun from a pitching perspective. You've got two guys out there who know exactly what they're doing. Dan Herron has been the Marlins' best this year.
Two guys with unique deliveries. We'll have some fun talking about it today. But Dan Herron, 6 or more innings, 13 of his 17 starts. He has been a stalwart. He's been steady the first half of the season, the steadiest pitcher the Marlins have had. Johnny Cueto, he's 5'11", won 20 games last year. He's gone 6 or more innings, 15 of 16 starts. And in the month of July, an earned run average of Cueto, a 2-0 record, but an ERA of 0.53.
One of the most entertaining starters in all of baseball. So, it's Herron and it's Cueto. How about the defense yesterday in the outfield? Christian Yelich, the Gold Glover, Cole Gillespie as well. We'll go out into the outfield when we get back. Let's go out to center field. Craig Minervini, Jeff Conine.
Well, Rich, not often in a 14-3 game do you talk about, hey, what about that defense? But that indeed is a story. Adam Conley was his first major league game. Defense was a big factor for Miami, and there were some startling plays.
Yeah, especially in the outfield. A couple by Christian Yelich, one by Cole Gillespie in center field. But you got to love what they did for this club last night. On the other side of the baseball, early in this game, Christian Yelich gets around this ball absolutely perfectly. A tremendous pick by JT Realmuto. A tough thing to do with that catcher's glove. Got the guy at home plate, and then Marlon Byrd sends this ball about 420 feet to center field. Cole Gillespie over the top of his head. An extremely difficult catch to make. Makes it look easy. Great play.
And then how about this other play by Yelich with heads up as he tried to catch it in the fly, but still got it out on what looked like a base hit.
Yeah, from behind almost looked like he caught that ball, but had the presence to know that he didn't catch it, but was able to still get the runner going into second base for a force out. You see his eyes right here, pick him up. He knows he's right there. D. Gordon has a sense, too, to cover the bag and knows that force out is made.
Well, what about Cole Gillespie? Called up. He's 31 years of age and has done a great job so far.
Fantastic job. He's taken advantage of this opportunity. Big game last night with 3 hits, a home run, a double, a couple RBIs, and stellar on defense. He's doing everything the Marlins are asking him.
Absolutely, and he'll be out there again today in the red-orange for Miami as they look to close out the first half on a bright note against Cincinnati and win this series 3-1. Good matchup, though. They'll have to go against the Reds' ace, Johnny Cueto. For Miami, it's Dan Herron who has had an outstanding first half. So we're all set. Fox Sports Florida next.
To end baseball's first half. All-Star Game Tuesday night on Fox in Cincinnati. And for the Reds, who will host that All-Star Game, here's their lineup. As penned by Brian Price, Jam Lexus brings it to you. Brandon Phillips, Joey Votto, Todd Frazier, an All-Star. Jay Bruce has hurt the fish. Marlon Byrd, Brian Pena. Eugenio Suarez, 8 for 20 against Miami. Jason Bourgeois is in center field. And Johnny Cueto hits ninth. Dan Herron getting set to face the Reds. And a strike. Brandon Phillips, whenever he's in that leadoff spot, always takes that first pitch because he knows it's sponsored by Pinch a Penny.
He usually knows it's going to be a fastball, but it wasn't from Dan Herron.
Joey Votto, Todd Frazier to follow. I hope you had a chance to watch Marlins Live. Just a terrific segment on deliveries of pitchers. Joey Votto and the Reds are going to be watching Dan Herron, who has that pause and hesitation. And of course, the Marlins will be seeing Johnny Cueto, who is, well, Louis Tion. He's a whole bunch of different pitchers. He has so many different deliveries. Herron didn't get that call. Looked like it may have clipped the black. 3-1 coming. And Phillips takes a strike. He didn't like that call. But you know what? On the plate, may have just caught the knees. Phillips doesn't want to upset Eric Cooper. Everybody trying to get along. 3-2 coming. It's fouled back. That's really that last sequence. You got two professionals out there, Dan Herron and Brandon Phillips. Herron thought he got squeezed a little bit, didn't bark, didn't make any big motion. Phillips trotted down to first. The first thing he did was apologize to the umpire when he got back. And then smack one to left. Yelich on the move, can't get it. And his dive gets by him to the wall. Phillips to second, and he'll stop there. Good throw by Yelich. Great effort by Yelich. He almost got that ball. And that ball's, whether he dives or not, that thing's getting by him.
Yeah, you have to make that decision. If you don't dive, you're right. It goes to the wall anyway. And Christian Yelich, with that lanky frame, is thinking, if I dive, I've got a chance to make this catch. I love the way he pops up right away, though. He wants to hold Phillips to a double, doesn't want to let him get to third base.
His day yesterday in the outfield showed you why he's a Gold Glover, and hopefully helped cement Gold Glove #2. That was terrific yesterday. Votto now. The Reds are in business with Phillips in scoring position, and the big bats lined up, Frazier and Bruce behind Votto.
You want to send those plays that Christian Yelich made yesterday, and you want to put them on his resume and send them to the Gold Glove committee.
Herron at 86 miles an hour, and Votto was out in front. Counts a ball and a strike. Marlins have contained Joey Votto in this series. A 4-game series gives you a pretty good feel for how a team is playing, what's going on out on the diamond for both teams. For the Reds right now, they're kind of treading water. Been trying to get themselves to 500 to get into that race in the Central, and it just hasn't happened. Phillips is running, got a big jump. Votto fouls it off.
Good break for the Marlins with Votto taking a cut, and with the count at the time 1-1, you hate to, and I know he's thinking about it. He probably could with his knowledge of the strike zone, but you hate to see a hitter take that pitch to maybe give him 2 strikes. So the Marlins caught a break.
You know, furthering the discussion on deliveries, one thing you'll notice about Herron is that from the stretch he's different. From the stretch, he doesn't have the time to really pause and sit. And the story of how Herron got his deliveries are a real fascinating one. He didn't have it when he went to Pepperdine, and
he was just worried about hitting.
In the minor leagues, he was drafted by the Cardinals. In the minor leagues, they had a drill where all the pitchers paused like that just to help them with balance. That one is flipped back. And so all the pitchers in their windup would stop, try to feel balanced, and then move forward. Herron said he felt so good doing it that he decided to keep it in the windup.
It's a great drill. Really surprised more pitchers don't do that.
The 1-2. And Votto gets clipped by the pitch. And Herron right now saying that Votto leaned into it. Eric Cooper
You know, you see it happen both ways. Derek Dietrich does this a lot. That pitch is not far. He really appears to lean in and let it hit him as opposed to getting out of the way. And that's the argument the Marlins have. But you don't see it called very often.
It's a great trick. And if you watch that, he pulls the elbow back, but he moves the torso forward. So the elbow's, watch, the elbow goes back, but watch the torso. He drops it so the elbow's pushed. I mean, if you're a hitter, that's a savvy move. Here's Frazier. And you're right, Tommy, it goes both ways. There are hitters on every team that do that.
Yeah, we see it happen with Derek Dietrich.
As it is, Herron now with runners first and second. And he needs outs, and this guy doesn't give you many. Todd Frazier. Good breaking ball. 0-2.
A good way to come back and get ahead quickly to Frazier.
Dan Herron's ERA is 3.34. That's the best he's had since 2011. And his whip is impressive. 1.06 walks, hits in innings pitched. Anytime you're down around 1, you're having an outstanding year.
Cueto's whip is 0.871. He's under that.
So it's a little unusual with Herron to see 2 runners on base right now. 1-2. Frazier lines it left center field. Yelich racing on, makes the pickup, and a run will score. Phillips crosses. The Reds have a 1-0 lead.
57 RBIs now for Todd Frazier. He's having an all-star year, and where's a little cutter or slider away. Hit it on the end of the bat, but dropped it in the right area. Second straight year Frazier will be in that all-star game.
And now the tough top of the order for the Reds continues. Jay Bruce, 5 hits in the series, including a home run. He gets that one off the end of the bat. It's 0-1.
In Cincinnati, when Dan Herron started and lost 5-0 on June 19th, Marlon Byrd homered against him in that game. But really, even in that game, Herron gave up 4 hits and 2 runs.
Chuck Hernandez, Marlins pitching coach, watching as Herron misses away. A lot of people have billed this game as a showcase for Johnny Cueto, for scouts who are looking for their teams for starting pitching in the second half. The same can be said for Dan Herron. Herron is a free agent at the end of the year. Of course, the Marlins right now 37-51. Herron certainly a guy that might be moved. Cueto, an all-star last year, final vote guy this year. Getting the last start of the first half for Cincinnati. 1-2. That would be strike 3 called.
We have seen games, Rich, from Dan Herron this year where he has struggled to a point that all of a sudden puts things together. And that's going to help with a good pitch and some good pitches to Bruce.
Injuries have really scrambled Miami's defense.
Well, we'll check it out. Yelich, Gillespie, and Ichiro in the outfield. Casey McGee, Justin Bour. Miguel Rojas starts the game at second. Echeverria's double play partner, and JT Real Muto behind the plate.
Marlon Byrd takes a rip. An 0 for yesterday, 0 for 4, snapped a 13-game hit streak. And Byrd can't hold up. Herron is just so masterful, and watching him pitch, if you didn't have the radar gun, you wouldn't know that he's throwing in the mid 80s, you know, topping out at 86, 87, 88. Because you would judge it by the swings and the misses.
Yeah, you judge it by how the hitter reacts. You have talked, Rich, about the tough luck. We've both talked about it with Herron. Perfect example was his game last time out in Boston. He left that game after going 6 innings, giving up 1 run. Marlins had a 3-1 lead. That was that tough game, the Miguel Rojas error at third base, and the Red Sox scored those runs the bottom of the 7th. And there's some more good pitching by Herron.
Second consecutive strikeout. He got Bruce, now he gets Bird. This one's swinging.
Little bit of this, little bit of that.
Like he cut that. Just dipped away from the swing of Bird. Now Pena, Reds catcher. The strike. Pena almost has more gear on right now than he does when he catches. He's got a big apparatus on his elbow. You go down to his right shin and leg. A protector that also goes out over his toe.
That might just have an extension on it and goes over the knee when he catches.
the clip-on knee attachment.
There isn't a category for it, but Dan Herron would certainly qualify and be one of the leaders in managing an inning when maybe things don't go right early on.
Center field, Gillespie back. This one a much easier catch than yesterday's in deep center. Herron gives up a run. Here comes Johnny Cueto. Let's Go Places by Kaiser University. For more information, go to kaiser.edu. By Florida Coast Equipment, Florida's largest Kubota dealer. Visit us at floridacoasteq.com. And by AutoNation. Visit us online, autonation.com. Gorgeous Sunday afternoon. The Marlins and the Reds finishing the first half. Fish lineup brought to you by JM Lexus. Ichiro with D. Gordon out is up in that leadoff spot. Christian Yelich red hot right now. Danny Echeverria hitting third. Justin Bohr in the cleanup spot. Casey McGee back and hitting. Cole Gillespie a big day yesterday. Same with JT Realmuto. It's Rojas who plays second, and he hits 8th. Dan Herron is slotted 9th.
Yeah, we talked a lot about Johnny Cueto, the 29-year-old, with the numbers he's put up this year, and then talked about him last year, a 20-game winner, 20-9 for Cueto.
As creative and fun of a starter out there, and that a quick pitch on the first pitch to
First
Ichiro.
pitch, a quick pitch.
And Ichiro smacks that one foul. Count is 0-2. That is legal. That one just missed. You better be ready. Now we'll see if Cueto continues this or maybe turns into Louis Tiant.
There it is.
And he struck him out. Louis Tiant with a wiggle after three quick pitches.
This guy is, I mean, a good matchup we have today with Herron and Cueto. It would be a good matchup with Cueto and Henderson Alvarez, too, because this guy's entertaining.
Of course, Alvarez on the disabled list, though. It's his bobblehead day today. Now Yelich. Of all the carnage in the 7th inning, Yelich is the only guy to have a couple hits in that inning. Christian would have 3 hits yesterday. Drove in a couple.
Boy, when he gives you that quick motion, then throws you the changeup, it's really deceptive. Then he comes back with a fastball.
It's almost like hitting against a pitching machine, and the guy who's feeding the balls doesn't show you the ball before he puts it in. It just comes out before you expect it.
Another good changeup. You watch him, he's not going to throw 95, 96.
Struck him out. Outside corner. Wow, Johnny Cueto right now just looks untouchable.
So far, he hasn't had to use the defense. It's brought to you by BMW, but there it is with Marlon Byrd, Bourgeois, and Bruce in the outfield. Todd Frazier, Eugenio Suarez, Brandon Phillips, Joey Votto, and Brian Pena behind the plate.
Now Echeverria takes outside. Echeverria, 3 hits in the series. Shoots a ground ball Brandon Phillips' way. Multiple time Gold Glover on to first. In time, Johnny Cueto looks like he's at his best today. 1-0 Reds.
español vía SAP por West Kendall Toyota.
Henderson Alvarez bobblehead day. There it is, starting the old-time windup, appropriate with Johnny Cueto working. Dan Herron getting a new baseball, and he's back to work against the Reds. There is the entertainer, and he has a ringside seat to watch Cueto work. Eugenio Suarez, shortstop for the Cincinnati Reds. I would expect there are some Reds that will head back to Cincinnati. And when they arrive, they'll find that town rocking and rolling with the All-Star game on Tuesday night. In 2 years, everyone will be headed here to Miami. Midsummer Classic is coming in 2017. For breaking news, ticket updates, and all the information relating to Major League Baseball's All-Star Game and All-Star Week events in Miami 2017, go to marlins.com/ASG. Strike to Bourgeois. Bourgeois, pinch hitting appearance.
And notice too with Billy Hamilton not in the lineup, Brian Price goes with the conventional pitcher hitting number 9 lineup.
Aaron couldn't get him to bite, and it's 2-1. That one popped foul and out of play. Bourgeois, originally drafted by the Texas Rangers back in 2000. Braves claimed him off waivers 2005. Mariners Rule 5. And so it goes. Just a long list of minor league stops with cups of coffee along the way. 6 games with the White Sox in 08. 24 games with the Brewers in 09. 69 as an Astro in 2010. Last year, 18 games with the Reds. Fouls that one back.
And he spent a good part of this year on the disabled list.
But last year was the MVP in AAA. Yeah, broken scapula.
And he's giving Dan Herron a pretty good battle here.
He was one of those guys that came up out of the Houston youth baseball program. Played in Little League. Michael Bourne, Carl Crawford, 2 other guys there. Backing up. That was trouble from the get-go.
Yeah, he got caught. He went the wrong way. Yeah, Casey will tell you that. He knows if he initially comes in on that ball, he either gets the high hop or he gets an easier short hop. But by backing up, nothing good usually comes out of this. He starts to move back and then he's in trouble.
Perry Hill, Miami's infield guru and known across baseball as one of the very best infield instructors, has that saying, ball hits dirt. Cueto is tagged out. Ball hits dirt, you go get it. That's your first step, is to go get the ball. And for McGee, probably a little bit of rust after not playing for the last couple weeks.
Yeah, you could do it. He's still shaking his head. He knows that. You can do a lot when you're kind of in between, which is what he was. He was taking batting practice and doing that, but you're probably not taking as many ground balls and doing things of that nature.
So up to Brandon Phillips. Phillips doubled and ended up scoring on the Todd Frazier single back in the first. Special guest, 3rd inning, live from Miami's dugout. Dan Jennings will join the show. Lots of questions for Miami's manager. get you an update from the skipper on D. Gordon.
Yeah, we'll get updates on D and also on Giancarlo as well. See, the area right now that's going to be a concern for Dan Herron is the pitch count. He's already at 42. He's thrown a lot of pitches these first 2 innings.
That time Phillips started to first and then hesitated as a courtesy, I think, to Eric Cooper, and finds himself at first base. Remember earlier in the day, Phillips started to first and was then called back. Watch the little jog too. And it did miss. Phillips was on it. Here's Votto, hit by a pitch back in the first.
Well, you wonder how things will go for Reds manager Brian Price the second half of the season.
It's really hard to evaluate a manager when he doesn't get to manage the team that breaks camp or that was put together in spring training.
He will be one of the coaches on Bruce Bochy's all-star coaching staff.
That goes for both managers in this ball game. To left, Yelich makes a running catch. Dan Herron strands 2. 1-0 Reds. Johnny Cueto in the rocking chair. A little shimmy, a little shake. Yep, he knows it. That little hesitation. Sometimes you get the quick pitch like Ichiro got. 1-0. Reds on top. We talked about Luis Tiant, El Tiante, and his influence. There's a good comparison. Tiante, the great Cuban right-hander, the Boston Red Sox.
Cueto signed as an 18-year-old out of the Dominican. Second to Clayton Kershaw last year. Johnny Cueto was in the Cy Young voting.
Moore hits it hard on the ground to Suarez at short. Votto picks it. Marlins Fan Express is back, and it'll drive right onto the television screen and take you to Marlins Park. You can book this luxury motor coach for your group, 305-480-2523, or email groups@marlins.com. It'll pick you up at home. It'll pick you up at work. It'll pick you up wherever you want.
I'll have to say, too, it's also very safe on the road. The Fan Express driver stays within the range of miles per hour, because I passed it the other day.
I think the drivers for that motor coach are all certified by the Joey Chitwood driving school. Let's scout him.
Well, we've talked about him. Deception, yes, there is. Sinks and cuts. That's a very good pickoff move to first base.
McGee has pretty good numbers against him. 23 at bats, more than anybody in a Marlin uniform, and he's 7 for 23. That's a 304 clip. There's the quick one. McGee hits it to center. Lots of room out there. Bourgeois makes the catch.
Thing about Cueto, too, he goes deep into a lot of games. 12 times this year, 7 or more innings. Last year he threw 243 plus. So you look at him, he's 5'11", stockily built, about 220.
His last start was a masterpiece. The 2-hit shutout against Washington and Max Scherzer. A walk and 11 strikeouts. There's Cueto's numbers from that start. That was in Washington. Dan Jennings will join us live next half inning. Well, Gillespie asked for time. Everybody bailed from behind the plate.
The catcher hit me because he set up late and the batter wasn't ready yet.
Ah, you hear that explanation? The catcher was asking for time and the hitter was asking for time. The catcher bumped into the umpire. Watch right there. Boom, see him?
Yeah, he said he set up late. There was contact there. So Cueto quick pitched his catcher.
Up the middle, there's a base hit. A solid shot for Gillespie. 2-out single.
Well, what a great job. We talked about it yesterday. Cole Gillespie has done. Tremendous defense. Had a 3-hit game, had a home run, a double, and a single in the ball game yesterday.
Votto's probably muttering to Gillespie, I wouldn't want to face this guy. Remuto. See the average over 250. He goes after the first pitch, skies it to right. That is Jay Bruce territory, and he makes the catch. Marlins get their first hit. Cueto strands that runner. Marlins skipper Dan Jennings live when we return. Marlins dugout by Dan Jennings, Marlins skipper. First and foremost, thanks for joining us. What's the status of D. Gordon after the injury yesterday?
Well, he has some movement, which is a positive. He's able to do a few tests with his thumb and his pinky, and some movement there. He has quite a bit of swelling, as you can imagine, after the dislocation. And, you know, we're hoping best case we'll know more once he starts to move it and checks for strength. But hopefully he'll only miss one series, if that.
DJ will continue, and we hate to do this, but with injuries, how about Giancarlo?
The stitches are out, which is a positive, and now it's just you know, a matter of it healing up, and then, you know, same scenario with the hand strength and moving, and, you know, hopefully we can be on the short side of that 4 to 6 week window, and truly you won't know it until that completely heals and gets calloused a little bit.
DJ, as you move forward in your baseball career, whether it's as a manager or a general manager, what has this experience taught you? That ball's into the gap, right center field. Gillespie's after it, and he won't get this one. It bangs after the wall. Ichiro picks it up, and it's a double for Jay Bruce. What has the experience taught you, and what will it do for you moving forward?
Well, it's been a privilege for me to crawl in the foxhole with these guys and watch what they go through daily, the grind of playing 162 games. And, you know, when you're in a general manager's chair, you pop in for 15 or 20 minutes. But truly, when you crawl in the foxhole and live with them daily, there's a true appreciation of what they go through, what makeup really is, you know, how guys will go out and grind it when they're not feeling 100% and battle through some uncomfortable things. So it really has taught me much more about the players and their day-to-day activities.
DJ, last one from me. Any special instructions to your players as the All-Star break comes upon us?
No, I wanted them to go home, spend time with their family, get away from the game, and come back in a positive frame of mind for the second half. As I reminded them today, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Looking forward to Friday in Philly. Thanks, DJ, for the visit.
Okay, guys. Thanks for having me.
And enjoy the break. Runner goes.
Thank you.
That one fouled back to the screen. Jay Bruce has to turn around and go back to second. One out. It's the third. The Reds are up 1-0. Bruce a double off the wall and right. I kept expecting Cole Gillespie to make another incredible catch. He got there.
He just ran out of room.
He had a great route, got to the wall, which is a long ways from home plate, and it bounced off the wall for a double. Dan Herron's 0-2. Flip down the line. Ichiro in pursuit. And he goes to his knees and gets it. Runner tags and gets to third. Ichiro in right. That's why that man has won a room full of gold gloves.
Ten gold gloves for Ichiro. He was running out of room, and he got down into that slide just to kind of brace himself up against that padded wall. Just terrific, because that wall comes on you in a hurry, and you've got to put the brakes on because you're going full speed to get there.
It's a lot different than going back and hitting a warning track. You're kind of retreating at that point. As you pointed out, you're full steam ahead.
Hey, by the way, Rich, we have to thank DJ and really the organization. There are a lot of clubs that their manager won't do an interview, as we just did, in the middle of the game. There are a lot of ball clubs that won't allow it. And so we're very fortunate to have that happen.
Not only that, in terms of access, the Marlins are at the cutting edge in Major League Baseball. We are able to visit with starting pitchers after they come out of their start during the game. We're able to get access that other teams just don't get. That's a benefit, obviously, to us, and we hope that the viewers out there appreciate it as well. That one just missed. When Herron misses,
look at how the pitches are. There's nothing in the middle of that fox tracks.
I know, he really misses close, right on the periphery of the zone. That was the exact same spot as pitch 4. Pitch 5 just covered it up.
In and out, up and down.
Bouncer to second. Rojas to first. Aaron Strands, Bruce at third. Still 1-0. Reds. Like this one happened every night in baseball, but on one night they all happen in one place. Don't miss the 86 All-Star Game. Coverage begins 7 Eastern on Tuesday on Fox. Marlin All-Star representatives right there. D. Gordon on the left, Giancarlo Stanton on the right. Yeah, we see it. A follicle salute to the two Marlin All-Stars. The hard part's going to be if, say, A.J. Ramos is added later today. Where do you go for that? You got to go around the front, don't you?
I think it would be figured out. Of course, Troy Tulowitzki was added with the injury to D. Gordon.
See, now that if Major League Baseball, if Stanton, that went into the seats, if Stanton and Gordon do not attend the game, Major League Baseball should just fly that guy, so during the introductions that guy can just stand up backwards and step out, and they could just shoot his head. And from the Miami Marlins,
a nice close-up. Representing the Miami Marlins,
Giancarlo Stanton and D. Gordon, and that guy's just, you know, just stands there and they shoot the head. Gordon and Stanton have grown close, and so equally frustrating. You see the wrap on Gordon's thumb. Who gets back sooner? Rojas to short, Suarez to first. The Marlins should have.
That's a good question.
The Marlins should have in the next 2-3 days a better idea for D. Gordon's timeline to return.
You made the point yesterday with Giancarlo. You never want an injury, obviously, but when it comes around the All-Star break, there's a 4-day period where you are not missing games, and the same holds true with D. Gordon. You don't want him to get hurt, certainly, but there's that 4-day period where there are no games.
Dan Herron against Cueto, and what it does for Gordon and for the Marlins, it allows Miami not to have to put him on the disabled list, make a decision until next weekend in Philly. because they can DL him retroactive to last night, his last game.
I say no games. However, I would have loved to have seen D leading off for the National League. Would have loved to have seen Giancarlo. There's that base hit for Herron.
Dan Herron gets a knock.
Would have loved to have seen Giancarlo in the lineup and also in the home run derby.
Herron with a base hit. Looking like Mike Dunn. Dunn yesterday getting his first major league hit in that big inning for the Fish. Now Ichiro. Ichiro seemed bothered or perplexed with Cueto's quick windup. He struck out in the first. Chops this one out towards second. Phillips to Suarez. That would be a double play. And Miami is done in the third. To the fourth. Cueto's not happy with himself.
The fourth, Dan Herron getting a hit there, bottom third. How about Mike Dunn? He got his first hit. He also helped set a Marlins franchise record in the game last night. Here it was, a rare at bat for Dunn. He told us it was his first in 4 years. And up the middle he went for a base hit, the first of his major league career for the one-time position player.
No, I mean, it was awesome. I've had a few at-bats in the past before, and I've been on base before just by errors. So, you know, it was nice to get the first one out of the way, and, you know, I don't really care if it ends up being the last one. So if I end with a, I don't know, 1 for 5, hit 200, that's fine. This year, I hit 1,000. I'm good with that.
Everybody was coming around the clubhouse, you know, with the comments about the big hitter, and he was kind of reluctant, obviously, to talk about it too. But we finally got him going. Hey, Mike, it's a big deal. You got your first hit, and you went to first base. Told Perry that, and they kept the ball for him. So good for him. A one-time position player who made his major league debut with the Yankees, but of course, has been an outstanding left-sided pitcher in his big league career. Guys,
it's a fun story, and an inning like that for the Marlins, it's almost like a ball club that has had its first half frustrations and struggles at times, let off a lot of steam in that 7th inning.
Well, what punctuated the hit of Dunn's was the fact that it set a club record, 9 consecutive hits.
Bohr and Ichiro and Rojas, and it's Ichiro who makes the catch. Now, especially if you want to get it in the first half, would be a really good time to tweet your strongest fan photo, FL Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming telecast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Bourgeois takes down low. Dan Herron gave up a double in the first to Brandon Phillips. Todd Frazier scored him with a hit. And that's the scoring in the game. This game has reverted back to the form of games 1 and 2 in the series. In game 1, the Marlins beat the Reds 2-0. Reds answered 1-0 in the second game. Yesterday was 14-3. It's 1-0 here.
Yeah, it also has gone the way that Dan Herron's pitched all year. Little struggles in that first inning. He managed it well, gave up just the 1 run, and then settled down. He's given up 1 hit since.
Rojas. A little extra step to get in front of that one.
Not as many games at second base, but Miguel Rojas has those nice hands, good footwork. Got over, made that play easy.
Now Cueto at the plate. Takes a rip at a fastball, drives it to center. Gillespie is there, and he makes the catch. Dan Herron, a very brief appearance. In the fourth, back on the bump goes Cueto. To run a couple hits. A lot of kids on this Sunday. Pitch Family, the exclusive loyalty program of Marlin fans, all season ticket holders automatically enrolled, and they earn points and rewards. Offers include opportunities like a bucket list Marlin moment, rewards like never before. You've already earned the points, now use them. Marlins.com/fishfamily. We had 3 Fish Family members. There's a Fish Family t-shirt. 3 Fish Family members that won a Fox Sports tour. And they were not only out in center field posing with Craig and Niner, they were in our booth to see what was going on. And they toured the production truck and met the crack staff and survived.
There are actually no photos available of their meeting with the crack staff.
Good reason. Yelich picks up and out. Johnny Cueto has been his masterful self. A couple punch outs, got a double play ball to finish the third. Misses into Yelich. Cueto's ERA at 2.61 to start. Tommy noted his whip extremely low. Yelich That's a strike. Just got the zone right at the letters and right on the edge of the plate. Eric Cooper's been pretty good today. Yelich bangs it into left field. Christian Yelich in his last 17 games has hit over 380.
A lot of base hits just like that. It's a great angle because you see how he's allowing that ball to get deep to him. And then he unloads, line drives into left field. How about what he did yesterday?
Our Toyota trend, only Marlin along with Miguel Cabrera, 3 hits and 2 outfield assists in the same game. It's rare that an outfielder gets 2 assists in one game. Remember Marcell Ozuna against the Mets
when he was in left field.
One of those throws ended the ball game, but then you got to get the 3 hits. Echeverria, Bourgeois makes a catch.
Just thinking about it, you described certainly a walk-off hit, or home run. It's a walk-off. How do you describe the game-ending assist? It was exciting. I know that.
I don't really have a catchphrase for it. The term walk-off, many people attribute to Dennis Eckersley.
Yeah, most people attribute it to the hitter, but it's really the pitcher walking off.
And it was Eckersley, and I think this was before the Kirk Gibson home run in Game 1 of that World Series, Oakland and Los Angeles. Eckersley was talking about, yeah, you don't want to give up a walk-off piece and have to walk off and watch him celebrate. Baseball historians, I think, have traced it to Eck, or Eck speak. Saw Eck in Boston a couple times. Can't believe how magnificent his hair looks.
Still looks great. For a while, I don't know if you can still get it, he had an app that had all of his catchphrases. The Eck app.
Bohr pulls one foul. That's 1-2. Johnny Cueto is listed at 5'11", and you know, in any sport, if a guy's listed at 5'11", he's not, because if he was 5'11", he would be listed as 6 feet. So you're thinking Cueto's probably 5'10"ish.
Well, it was the other night. The 5'10" Mike Leake threw 8 shutout innings against the Marlins.
8th year in Cincinnati for Cueto. Bohr clubs that one left center. Bourgeois won't get it. Off the wall. Yelich to third, and that's it. Some doubt as to whether Bourgeois would make that catch or not, and Yelich ends up at third.
Look at this pitch, high in the zone, and big Justin Bohr. Look at it, it's out of the strike zone. Look how he gets on top of it, almost gets to his tiptoes, stays on top, drives it the other way. Yelich has to pause because you're not sure right about now. But I thought it was played really well by Bourgeois in center field. He got it back in a hurry, got it quickly to the cutoff man.
Yeah, that's the other part of the equation. You saw Yelich at second watching. If the ball takes any kind of odd bounce, Yelich scores, but it caromed right back to the red center fielder. Now McGee in an RBI spot. And he has shined as a Marlin, and that continued yesterday. McGee drove in 3 runs. Yelich at third, Board second. Don't see right-handers make that move much.
No, you don't.
McGee, and that's a fair ball, and into the corner it goes. Yelich scores. Gore scores. Amazing. He puts on a Marlins uniform, and he turns right back into, hits McGee.
Remember the pitch to Justin Bour, how high it was out of the strike zone. Watch this pitch. Almost the same area, up and away. This time to a right-handed hitter. And Casey McGee, man, he just has that confidence. He put on the Miami Marlins uniform, just feels good. All of a sudden now he's confident. He's gotten more big hits in his 3 games here than he did the entire year with San Francisco. And the biggest hit he got with the Giants was the grand slam against the Marlins.
Into center field, Gillespie. McGee around third, and he holds there. Throw is cut. And the Marlins all of a sudden have put together multiple hits against Johnny Cueto.
Cole Gillespie stand right back up the middle. His single last time up. Same area, up the middle. Hits sharply. Casey McGee not going to score from second base on that.
Now you've got Real Muto. Miami has 2 runs and a 2-1 lead. The runners at the corners. 4 hits in the inning. Hits per 9 innings. Cueto averaging just over 6 a game. Bouncer in the hole, it's short. Suarez gets it out. Not in time, and the run scores. 3-1. An RBI for Real Muto.
You love to see the contact to get the run in, stay out of the double play. Real Muto with the speed to do that, even though Suarez made a great effort to get the ball into the hands of Brandon Phillips.
Cole Gillespie and Casey McGee. Liner to right center field. Bourgeois makes the catch. Miami, a 3-run inning and a 3-1 lead. Talked about him. Dan Herron has the pause. A lot of Asian pitchers have this. Pitchers that come over from Japan and Korea. We talked earlier about how he developed that from a drill in the Cardinals organization.
Well, the essence of really anything in baseball, be it fielding, hitting, pitching, is balance. And he said he did that drill, was taught that drill because of balance. And think about it, it'd be a great drill for young pitchers. If you're a young kid watching, just try that a few times, and that will help your balance.
Brandon Phillips, third time through for the Reds now against Dan Herron. Top of the fifth. Phillips a double and a walk. Ichiro on the spot, makes a catch. Halfway point, not really in terms of games. This is game number 89. 81 was the halfway point, but halfway point and a chance for everybody to catch their breath, take a look around, see who's standing, see who's fallen, maybe pick through and choose your MVP to this point, your Cy Young to this point, maybe Rookie of the Year. Votto was an MVP in 2013. Tommy Hutton, if you had to choose a National League most valuable player, who are you going with?
Yeah, right now it would probably be Bryce Harper. And a second, but his team is not where the Nationals are, would be Paul Goldschmidt.
Couldn't you, by numbers, choose that guy, Giancarlo Stanton?
You could. You could.
He has more home runs than Harper.
But when you have a guy, there are times that I think a player on a second division club can be MVP. But when you have a guy who's putting the numbers up that Harper's putting up on a first place team, then it's a different story.
All right. On base percentage and slugging percentage, Harper is the leader. And by a pretty good clip with the slugging percentage. So I think that's a fine choice, Tommy Hutton.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
All right, you're not done yet.
That's with no preparation either.
You're not done yet. 3-2 pitch coming to Votto from Herron. And Votto walks. Cy Young. If you had to choose the Cy Young right now, if the season ended, first half ends.
Easy choice. Zach Greinke.
Yep. The National League, that is an easy choice.
And there's some guys having terrific years. Garrett Cole, a tremendous year. A.J. Burnett, an all-star for the first time in 17 years.
That one's hit well by Frazier. Down the line, Yelich going to venture into the corner. Picks it clean off the track. Votto into third. And Todd Frazier has his second hit against Dan Herron.
For another extra base hit. 26 doubles for Todd Frazier. He leads the major leagues in extra base hits.
He might get a few votes for first half MVP.
Yeah, he might. Max Scherzer, certainly a choice in the Cy Young voting, but right now Greinke, an ERA of 1.39, and has that consecutive streak going of scoreless innings.
Scherzer's pitching today, right, which prevents him from pitching in the All-Star game. So I guess stay tuned to see who replaces him. Jay Bruce muscles up, pulls it foul.
You know, the double that Jay Bruce And in the third inning, his 200th career double. He has 195 career home runs. That's number 9 on the all-time Reds list. Number 8 on the Reds list, home run list, Hall of Famer Barry Larkin, 198.
Best corner outfielder in Reds history, Eric Davis.
Yeah, he was on that Lou Piniella World Series team, wasn't he?
One and two the count. Popped him up.
Big pitch.
Perfect. McGee right on the mound makes the catch. That is an enormous out, and not just the out, but the way Herron gets the out. Keeps it on the infield, trying to escape this fifth. South Florida Honda dealers, get you ready for the second half. On Friday in Philly, Jose gets the ball. Chat with Dan Jennings, Craig Minervini, and Carl Pavano. They will be in studio. Marlon Byrd swings and misses.
I'm going to throw one at you, Rich, and I'm going to give you a name that you and I mention every once in a while. If you were to go with first half manager of the year.
Oh, that's a good.
And I have a choice.
All right, don't give it yet.
Now, I'm not going to give it to you yet.
Pitch is in. All right, I got mine, and I got my runner-up. Mike Matheny.
Good choice. Good ball club. They've had some injuries to deal with.
1-1.
But to this point, a guy who I think has gotten the most out of the least, Terry Collins.
He's my runner-up. And I've got no qualm putting him in front of Matheny.
Mets come into play today, 46 and 42.
You got to put Joe Madden in the conversation.
Yeah,
I think
you
put
do.
the Cubs back on the map.
Yeah, you do.
They really have done a nice job to be relevant again.
He has a lot more offense to work with.
Yes, he does.
Than Collins. Collins has maybe a lot more pitching.
He has more pitching to work with.
Will the Mets make a move? They are getting hit in the papers up there. The offense, the pitching is, everybody would say, playoff quality. And they could scare you if they get in the playoff series.
It's a team you wouldn't want to play in the playoffs because of their pitching.
2-2. Bird flips it foul and out of play. In this series, the scouts that have been here this weekend, the number one thing they've looked for is starting pitching. The two guys throwing today, Cueto and Herron. Cueto especially have drawn keen interests. 2-2. Got him. How about that? Dan Herron does not have his best stuff or location today, but he has battled, and when he gets runners on, he gets outs. Our famous Big Buford and Big Chicken Deluxe. Get 2 for $5. Checkers, it's in the bag. By Coral Springs Auto Mall. Across the street from the Coral Square Mall. We make it easy. And by the Florida Department of Transportation, reminding you to drive sober or get pulled over. Fine day to be out on the water. Giancarlo Stanton, D. Gordon, all-star starters. Gordon bandaged up, still a bundle of energy. Dan Herron takes a strike. Herron single back in the third. 3-1 Miami. Cueto will get to the line and meet and greet Dan Herron. Mutual respect. All-Star Game watch party on Fox and at Brews Room Sports Grill at Pompano Beach. That's Tuesday the 14th. MLB All-Star Game on Fox at 8. All-Star memorabilia, tickets to upcoming Marlins games. Enjoy Corona Light specials. Tommy Hutton golf shirts will be raffled off as well. Game used Tommy Bahama shirts from Tommy's collection. Suzuki. For someone that's followed him a long time, when he was a Mariner, and I'm not sure how the Yankees treated him, but he always just went by Ichiro. Tapper out to second, and Ichiro an 0 for 3 in this one. Jose Fernandez starts the second half. And in Philadelphia, we start it with Marlins Live, 6:30. Jose 2 starts, 2-0 record. Christian Yelich just struck out and singled. No swing. Can't wait to see the second half that Christian Yelich has. If he stays at this pace right now, that average will keep climbing. Yelich's last 17 games, an average of over 380.
Boy, it was a tough injury for the Braves yesterday. Their veteran closer, Jason Grilli, coming off the mound covering first base, tore his Achilles. He'll be out for the year.
Yelich walks. Ball was in and low. Two outs. Here comes Echeverria.
First walk of the game issued by Cueto, just the 22nd walk of the season.
Yelich runs, pitches up, throw is up. Yelich is not buying the Brandon Phillips decoy. And stolen base. Yelich gets his 8th.
Had a feeling he might be thinking about running, and you knew if he was, he'd try to do it early to give Echeverria a chance to drive him in. palms up.
We were talking about that yesterday, the thumb injury to D. Gordon, that sound clip of Lenny Harris last month when he was mic'd up preaching the same. Miami can add a run here with 2 outs. Etch got jammed. Frazier bobbles it. Yelich crossed right in front of him. And it's an error on the all-star third baseman, Todd Frazier.
Yeah, I think he certainly was distracted by Christian Yelich, and a good move on his part. You kind of time it. Okay, make sure you get out of the way. You allow him to field the ball, but just a little distraction right there. And ball kind of climbed up the heel of his glove.
That gives Justin Bour a shot here. His third at bat against Cueto. A booming double. And slammed off the wall in left center his second time up. Bounced out back in the second. He's got 3 doubles in this series. There are many reports as to who's here looking at starting pitching. Cueto in particular. 3 teams, according to Joel Sherman: Yankees, Blue Jays, Orioles. You would expect there's a few more than that, but those are the particulars. Or teams that will probably be showing interest in. I mean, why not stay in the East and throw Boston in there?
Now you start to track Cueto, Cole Hamels.
Bour again to the opposite field. All the way to the wall. Echeverria is not slowing down around third. He's coming home, and he scores. Plate was blocked, and he is safe. Let's hope he's all right.
Just go in feet first, especially when you got the catcher there. Wow, after you just lost a player yesterday, head first slide to first. You're crazy if you head first slide into the plate when the catcher's there. Let's hope Echeverria is okay. Great hitting by Justin Bour. Love to see him go the other way.
He's safe. He got to the plate. Pena applies the tag but drops the ball.
I need the all-star break. So many head-first slides. I need the break.
I think you're right. Echeverria getting his breath. McGee tags one to center. Bourgeois is back and at the warning track makes the catch. That ball hit a long way off the bat to Casey McGee. Miami adds 2 more. It's 5-1.
at Comiskey Park in many a day. An estimated 50 to 55,000 inside the park, another 10 to 15,000 outside. Between games, WLUP's Steve Dahl led his followers in song and chants on the field, and then proceeded to blow up the disco records collected in a box in center field.
Oh, no, there goes Donna Summer.
Some 7 to 10,000.
Anthony DeSclafani had nothing to do with disco night in Chicago. They never played the second game of that doubleheader. Brian Pena's up for the Reds. Dan Herron now with a 5-1 lead. And there it is, the madness that ensued. Do you know any players that were involved in that doubleheader?
I'd have to look at rosters to see.
Well, look, it was a great promotion in terms of attendance. Look at all the people that were there.
I mean, the intentions were good.
Dollar beer night didn't go so well either in the 70s, as I remember. Burke Badenhop in Cincinnati's pen. Dan Herron, a rare leadoff walk. He walks the catcher Pena. You got Suarez, Bourgeois, and then the pitcher spot for the Reds here in the 6th.
I know both Dans, Dan Jennings and Dan Herron, would love to get through this 6th inning. Herron at 90 pitches now.
Another nice day for Justin Bour. A couple RBI doubles. 2-run double by Casey McGee. Those are the big hits. Going back is Gillespie. This one hangs up, and he catches it right at the warning track.
Keep him to the big part of the ballpark.
Marlins on social media. Several ways to connect with Marlin fans just like you. Marlins.com/connect gives you a full roster of Marlin players on Twitter. All the official Marlin accounts on Instagram and Twitter. So there you go. Knock yourself out. Look at that. Tommy Hutton has a Twitter handle. She was fascinated to see that.
That's right. Tell you who might have one after the game for the Mets is Kirk Neuenhuis. He's homered 3 times today for the Mets.
Neuenhuis, who got a boost from his minor league team in Las Vegas when he got called up, and there was a game, I forget the pitcher, but Neuenhuis had just faced that guy. I think it was Jake Peavy in a rehab game and clobbered him. Peavy was pitching and Neuenhuis wasn't in the lineup, and the team's site tweeted a note of disbelief that Neuenhuis wasn't in there. So Neuenhuis in there today. Bourgeois into right. And that's a base hit. Pena, late start, gets into second. This has kind of been the pattern. Herron out there with 2 men on. He had 2 men on in the 5th. He had 2 men on in the 2nd. Had 2 men on in the 1st. And in all of those innings, the Reds have just the 1 run they got in the 1st. Chuck Hernandez on his way out to buy some time for the pen to start and maybe talk to Herron and find out what's going through his mind.
Well, you have that guy, Skip Schumacher, announced as the pinch hitter. Where Cincinnati has failed today, they're just 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position.
Best players who aren't hurt gather in Cincinnati for the Midsummer Classic with home field advantage. The World Series on the line. 2015 Major League Baseball All-Star Game on Tuesday, July 14th, 7 Eastern on Fox, streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Well, Rich, best players that aren't hurt and also best pitchers who aren't starting today. I saw where Sonny Gray of Oakland is pitching today, so he's been replaced. The one luxury both managers have with bullpens today is that you have 4 days off after this one.
Max Scherzer also starting,
except for Aroldis Chapman.
Schumacher pulls a ground ball. Bohr flips. Herron's there, gets the out. Two Southern Californians meet at first, Schumacher and Herron.
You know, a couple guys you wonder, Rich, if they faced off against each other. Schumacher 35, Herron 34. Schumacher at UC Santa Barbara, and Herron at Pepperdine.
They play a lot against each other.
Yeah,
Different conferences.
Different conferences, but you never know.
Phillips, and that one will find the seats. Max Scherzer, by the way, has allowed just one hit in Baltimore. Washington has a 3-1 lead in the bottom of the fifth. Now, I don't think Major League Baseball has announced a replacement for Scherzer. There's a swing and a miss.
I don't think so. We'll have to look.
You know, Johnny Cueto was on that final vote, but the fact that he's pitching today may count him out.
Shortest outing of the year for Johnny Cueto, 5 innings.
Phillips has doubled, walked, and flied out. Herron trying to escape one more time. The Reds have left 7. And again, they stranded 2 in the first, the second, and the 5th. And here is Herron in the 6th. The Sunday night game tonight, Cardinals at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, a dramatic walk-off extra inning win last night. Dan Herron's got it, and once again, the Reds strand 2. A professional effort from Dan Herron.
Game before the All-Star break for the Reds and the Marlins in Major League Baseball on a Sunday here. Good start for the Marlins as they picked up 5 runs last couple innings, lead 5-1. Jose Fernandez will start the second half of the season for the Marlins, but he won't be able to add to his Major League record, not quite yet, of 22 straight starts at home without losing to begin a career. He is moving up on the overall numbers, though. Forget about beginning a career. He's already 13th. Kenny Rogers once went 20-0, 38 starts. Look at the top 2 names, Zach Greinke and Lefty Grove, 1, 2, 3, without a loss at home. Now, the man coming up on the left is one of the scouts here, Bruce Kieson, longtime pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's next on the list at 23 overall and 72 to 75. A great pitcher for the Pirates. He also pitched for the Angels and the Boston Red Sox. Went 115 and 88 in his career. I know Tommy faced him. Tall, slender right-hander. Well, he's 12th on the all-time list, and Bruce told me, I had no idea that. They didn't have those stats then. It's news to me, but I'm glad I had a good run at home at Three Rivers, guys.
All right, thank you, Craig. Burke Badenhop is in, and he pours in a strike to Cole Gillespie as the bottom of the 6th commences. Gillespie has a couple hits in this one, 5 hits in the series. And since being called up from New Orleans, he's hitting a cool 375. And played very well in the field, in center field. Johnny Cueto not happy with not only his effort, but getting lifted after 5 innings. Mike Dunn in Miami's bullpen. Busted bat and an out. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Miami Marlins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and the descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. Figured last game, first half, shoot for your best disclaimer of the year.
Yeah, you'll get the rest a few days on that disclaimer during the break.
Real Muto was flied out and bounced into a fielder's choice. He did get an RBI on that. 4th inning, Miami got 3 runs on 4 hits. A couple doubles in the middle. Justin Bour, Casey McGee. And then in the 5th, Justin Bour's double scored 2 more. Wow. Real Muto smacks it foul. So guys all of a sudden are really swinging.
Yeah, they're showing some great confidence at the plate. Good swings, being selective. You can just see it, especially in JT. Justin Bour, a couple of hits the other way.
Frazier collects this one and gets the out at first. It was an error by Frazier that kept that 5th inning alive and brought Bour to the plate. That was before Bour delivered 2 runs.
Yeah, those last 2 runs off Cueto, unearned runs.
Now you've got Rojas. There's a lot going on in the Clevelander that I've not seen before. I'd like to see again.
That can't be easy to do.
Thank you. And the young lady with balloon animals there too. The hopper does just that and flips it on over to first. 1, 2, 3 go the fish to the 7th. 5-1 Miami. retro, a popular jersey in the Marlins team store. Say hi to Robin when you're down there. Lots of cool stuff. You got those college-colored Marlin caps. A variety of colleges around. You've got the All-Star caps as well as the 4th of July caps down at the Marlins team store. Mike Dunn in. Dan Herron, for all the work that Dan Herron has done here and in the first half, he really deserves a win today. He actually deserves about 3 more in this first half. But Dunn is handed the ball in the 7th. Rich Waltz, Tommy Hutton, Craig Minervini, John Sulzer is our producer. Gary Nicholas is our critically acclaimed director. Ken Lee, our generally well-liked graphics coordinator.
All will be enjoying the All-Star break.
Here's Votto. All right, when Votto came to the plate, I turned to my partner. I said, who are your award winners in the National League? And since he's returned,
American League.
Let's go American League. Yeah, American League.
We can do that. MVP. They're making a run, too. Enter today's play just a half game behind Houston. MVP, Mike Trout.
Others receiving votes.
Prince Fielder. Boy, Mike Dunn just blew that pitch by Votto.
Votto strikes out.
Prince Fielder would get some votes. Maybe even a J.D. Martinez.
Miggy? I mean,
Miggy's tough. We'll see how the Tigers do while he's out. Miggy's always going to get votes. So that would be American League.
Cy Young Award winner, American League.
I'm going to go with the guy who's had a tremendous first half. You want to see if his team and if he continues the second half, would be Dallas Keuchel of the Houston Astros.
Most valuable beard, Keuchel as well.
Got that too, yeah. By the way, it's Hector Santiago who's replacing Sonny Gray. Santiago with the Angels. And Clayton Kershaw will be replacing Max Scherzer. That was just announced.
Do you think too many players make the All-Star team?
Do I think too many? I think too many don't go, is what I think.
Too many who are selected don't go.
Yeah. Certain injuries. Hey, there was a time if a guy pitched on Sunday, that didn't keep him from going to the All-Star game and throwing an inning. But I think that's just the nature of the game nowadays. Yeah, I don't think too many go. I think too many don't go who have the opportunity.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
And then you have a guy like we just saw him in Boston, Brock Holt, who's just totally excited about being selected. And every once in a while, too, Rich.
Etch. That's a nice play to get Frazier on a ball that scooted under Dunn's glove.
Every once in a while, you'll have a guy who's a replacement guy who's really excited, like a Brian Dozier, who just got named yesterday. That's a great play. We see that all year. We've seen it all first half from Echeverria.
Manager of the year in the American League. Who's your guy?
Not as easy for me, because I'm trying to look at teams who have overachieved. Obviously, the first team you look at is Houston. They have overachieved.
How about Kevin Cash?
Kevin Cash with the Rays would be a very good choice.
I know in the last 2 weeks they've had a rough go of it and have dropped to 500.
There are 2 other names. Kevin Cash, the job that Paul Molitor has done with Minnesota, and then of course you have A.J. Hinch with Houston, having them right now a half game lead in the West.
I know they're the Yankees, and they have lots of resources, but it never seems to be an easy job. Joe Girardi has his team in first place. 7 over, 3 up. That pop-up should be playable. McGee is there. In foul territory, makes the catch. And nice inning by Mike Dunn. Miami right now cruising with a 5-1 lead. On. Marlins have those on the field as well. That one has done well today. So has that one. So has that one. A good time to tweet your strongest fan photo. FL Data Strong Fan. And you just might see yourself in an upcoming telecast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Glad you're with us on this Sunday. The Marlins with a lineup that few would have imagined just what, 2.5, 3 weeks ago? A lineup that features Casey McGee hitting 5th and at third base. Danny Echeverria in the 3 spot. Ichiro leading off. Cole Gillespie in center field. But that lineup yesterday had a big day. 14-3, the Marlins beat the Reds. And in this one, they knocked Johnny Cueto out, one of the finest in the National League. Knock him out in the 5th inning, or after 5. I should say. Second reliever for the Reds here in the bottom of the 7th. That would be Ryan Matthews.
I think it's a good sign, Rich, that the Marlins have come back after the outburst yesterday to come back and continue to put together some good at-bats. And they did so against one of the best in Johnny Cueto.
So with Matthews taking over, the pitcher spot due up, it's like Derek Dietrich's going to get an at-bat. Dietrich's had a real nice 25 games. I think the biggest concern for Dietrich is probably defensively at third base, thrown into a position. He's not a natural third baseman.
I think he's overall done okay. He's had a few miscues.
Dietrich had a pinch hit in yesterday's ball game, singled on Friday night, doubled on Thursday.
Yeah, has the 3 home runs, has 4 doubles, and has hit the Reds.
Ichiro and Christian Yelich also due up bottom 7. Dietrich clobbers that one in the gap left center field. Bird after it, can't get it, goes to the wall. Staying hot is Derek Dietrich. And impressively, Tommy, he's getting pinch hits as well as hits when he starts a game. Got a pinch hit yesterday and a pinch hit double here.
Derek Dietrich this year against Cincinnati has 8 hits in 17 at-bats. He had that 2-homer game in Cincinnati and drove that ball very well to the opposite field.
Now Ichiro 0 for 3. Eight hits, 5 runs. Pedestrian by yesterday's standards, but impressive against Cueto here today. One and two. Carter Capps.
Remember, it was Carter Capps who was warming up yesterday and was slated to come into the game, and that's when the Marlins had that 8-run outburst in the 7th inning.
Ichiro to left field. That's a hit. Station to station for Dietrich. He holds at third. Some good swings by Ichiro over the last 3 ball games.
Yeah, it's good to see because you can see it obviously from Ichiro. Oh, he kind of gets rid of his little breath, little grunt when he swings. Kind of like the female tennis players. You don't hear the guys do that as much.
You got some guys that
got a few guys.
Not the same pitch though. Ichiro's running. There'll be no throw, and he swipes second base.
Marlins today 4 for 7 with runners in scoring position.
Yelich with an opportunity, infield in, nobody out. Bounces it up the middle. Suarez, a diving stop, and he gets Yelich. Nice play. Eugenio Suarez.
So 4 for 8 now, runners in scoring position. In contrast to that, the Reds are 1 for 11 today.
Chavarria fouls it off. And Danny Echeverria is 0 for 3.
I think Etch is going to be one that the All-Star break serves really well. He plays hard. He plays most every day. He plays a demanding position. And you've seen it a little bit. His average has gone down. So he'll be nice and refreshed come the second half of the season.
Etch, runner comes home. The throw is way off. 1 run scores. Ichiro coming. There's no one at the plate. Ichiro gets there. Matthews didn't cover the play. There's no one at third. And Echeverria takes third. Just a complete breakdown by the Reds infield. and their pitcher, Ryan Matthews.
Boy, that cannot please a manager. You saw the shot and the look on the face of Brian Price. It's going to be a fielder's choice. And then, of course, an error charged to Suarez, who just had made a very good play on the ball that Christian Yelich hit. This time he doesn't pick up the target, throws it away, and then alertly Ichiro comes in, and Etch does the same thing. Alert, nobody's at third. Pena tries to beat him there. Never going to happen.
Here is Justin Bour. On that last play, as the dominoes fell, Matthews not covering the plate made them all topple over, because Frazier had to come running in from third. That opened third base up. Suarez, who threw the ball away, didn't rotate over to third. Swing and a miss.
Well, the Marlins with a chance too, a win today, they'll win the season series against Cincinnati. They'll go 4-3. The last time the Marlins won a season series against the Reds was 2005.
Bour cracks one down the line. That'll drive it another. It's 8-1.
Well, a couple of balls to left field, couple of doubles. This time he crosses everybody up and pulls one down the first base line. What a terrific day from Justin Bour.
And he's a guy that you're excited to see play in the second half, right? I mean, he now has 9 doubles and 10 homers. He's driven in 27.
3 RBIs on the game today.
Here's McGee. Looks like they're going to give Echeverria the rest of the day off. You can see Mike Goff pointing to Donovan Solano. By the way, Donovan Solano's here. Adam Conley was sent back down to AAA after his emergency start yesterday. McGee out to center field, and that's the second out.
Yeah, just an early start to Etch's All-Star break. Good for him.
Now Gillespie, who was 2 for 3. Justin Bour first, 8-1, and this is beginning to look a lot like yesterday. Gillespie swings and misses.
For 22 runs in the last 2 games.
Double digits in hits for Miami. Outside corner. Matthews strikes out Gillespie. Miami tacks on 3 more. Justin Bour with a big hit. The skip. Carter Capps. Part of our wind-up series. It started on Marlins Live. We've continued it. We've seen a lot of different wind-ups. In fact, the two starters, Johnny Cueto in the rocking chair and Dan Herron with the pause.
We're trying to wind things up here the first half of the season.
Capps with a slender ERA. Funk in his delivery.
So as expected, some changes. With Solano coming in, Miguel Rojas goes over to play short, and Donovan Solano comes into the ball game at second base.
Capps normally comes in at a much higher leverage spot, which shows you how far this young man has come. From a guy that was sent down to the minor leagues to clean up his delivery to one of the more feared eighth inning guys in baseball right now. Marlon Byrd in the eighth. Miami up 8-1. Capps featuring that triple-digit fastball and slider. In looking at his delivery, and there's been a lot of scrutiny across baseball, Capps has followed the letter of Major League Baseball's instruction. Stanton and D. Gordon watching. To right, and Ichiro is there and makes the catch. The biggest focus is on the foot and the push off the mound. The key is, does he drag his toe, and this is important, does he get a second push off with that foot? If he's dragging his toe, there's no way physically that he can get the second push. And that's what Major League Baseball is looking for.
It's always very interesting, and it stands out because of his velocity. But when you have another pitcher, watch Mike Leake from the other night.
Mike Leake with some definite toe drag there.
But Leake doesn't throw 100. He's not 6'6".
Capps just threw 100 there. Average fastball velocity, only two better. One of them is sitting out in Cincinnati's bullpen, Aroldis Chapman. And there's the slider. Let's check in with Craig Minervini. Craig?
Guys, life without Giancarlo for a while. Hopefully not too long without D. Gordon. What's it been like for the Marlins? Take a look at the numbers with and without. Now, obviously, the last couple of days have skewed the offensive stats a bit, and the Marlins haven't been consistent enough on the right side. But it is good to see that if they hang on here and win, and they're up 8-1 comfortably, that's an 8-7 mark, 15 without Giancarlo. The runs have picked up, and again, these numbers do not include today. Overall, the pitching, though, has been outstanding. Coming into today, 2-3-7 in the 15 games that Giancarlo Stanton has not started, actually 14, and that's good. And you look at why. McGee, Gillespie, guys who have helped out. Justin Bour's had a big run offensively, and JT Realmuto, among others, contributing some RBI hits. And hopefully some of that can contribute. And then when you get Giancarlo back and D back, maybe you'll be better off for it.
Well, that's the hope, that certainly the Marlins can take something from this Cincinnati series. Looks like they're going to win this series, up 8-1. That one fouled back. and then apply it into the second half. And as Craig pointed out, when you sprinkle the guys back into the lineup, the Prados, the Stantons, the Gordons, that you've got McGee and the Gillespies and the guys that are hitting Real Muto, and they continue to do it. Caps hit 101. And it's 2-1 here. He's been living at 99.
You know, Rich, when you look at this first half and you see how bad the Marlins record is, and then you look at the numbers, and they're middle of the pack in hitting. They're middle of the pack in pitching. The teams around them in the pitching department have way less losses. They're second in fielding. They're strange numbers when you combine it with the record.
You're right. Carter Caps. A slider, a strikeout, a 1-2-3-8. 8-1. Marlins. At bat #1 app for live baseball. Up to the moment, any moment. In-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, statcasts, maybe a pitch tracking widget in there for you. MLB.com. At bat for your tablet, your smartphone, your device. J.J. Hoover, third reliever for Cincinnati. And so the Reds at the opposite end of what Craig was talking about, the Reds heading into the All-Star break despite hosting the All-Star game without a lot of momentum.
Yeah, new right fielder Marlon Byrd moves over to play there. DeJesus comes in and he's in left field. He'll probably hit in the number 9 spot. And there's J.J. Hoover.
JJ faces JT. Real Muto an 0 for 3. Miguel Rojas, and then the pitcher spot. It looks like Michael Morse poised for a pinch hit appearance. This was a Johnny Cueto start, and he looked untouchable early. But then the Marlins got to him for 3 runs in the 4th, added 2 unearned runs in the 5th. Cueto was not happy in the dugout after 5, and he was coming out. Marlins got to the Reds bullpen for 3 more in the 7th.
Martin Prado, by all accounts, ready when the bell rings next Friday in Philly.
Which will muddle things a little bit the way Casey McGee has come on board.
You could play Prado at second in the absence of D. Gordon.
Prado certainly is versatile, yes.
Though he's been playing a lot at third, he played second in Atlanta.
His arm appears to be pretty good. Saw him throwing before the game today. He was throwing long toss in the outfield, and he was throwing well. He'll probably play a couple of rehab games, and if all goes well, should be ready after the break.
One thing the Marlins need to do better in the second half is not get swept in series. Marlins have won their fair share of series, but when they have lost, oftentimes it's because of a sweep. And when you drop 3 games, the Marlins have dropped 4-game series as well.
2 of those.
Yeah. What, the Mets and Arizona?
Mets and Arizona.
That is a precipitous fall. Here's Rojas. Breaking ball is in. Soft liner. Phillips is there. And he makes the catch. Couple outs. Marlins Eye, brought to you by Checkers, is coming up. A full recap of this one. All kinds of fun highlights. News and notes. Dan Jennings' last press conference of the first half. Maybe a note that includes Clayton Kershaw being added to the National League All-Star team.
Another interesting project for the second half of the season is Michael Morse. Of course, Justin Bour is making it tough. The way he's hitting the ball, making it tough for Morse to get back in there at first base. But you like the competition.
Two and one. Well, you need depth. I think that's the other thing. Watching this 2015 season unfold with all the injuries and guys who haven't performed. You talk about Morse, the struggles of Marcell Ozuna. The more healthy bodies and the more guys that are playing well, it's obvious that the better you're going to be.
Yeah, you always like to have options.
Just like your flight tonight, you should have some good options to eat, right? You can have the turkey sandwich, or we have some hummus and chips.
Yeah, the hummus with the pretzels is always a good choice.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Morse. 8-1 Miami. Going to the ninth. Maybe the final half inning of the first half.
Honda dealers. By Kubota. For more information to find a participating dealer, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. And by Florida Coast Equipment, Florida's largest Kubota dealer. Visit us, FloridaCoastEQ.com. Hut, I think you're going to miss your All-Star break getaway.
Well, that was one of the options, but hope the other one's still available.
Ninth inning in Miami, and a nice series for the Fish against the Reds coming to a close. The Marlins with a chance to take 3 of 4 at Cincinnati's expense. Here is A.J. Ramos.
Well, after the 6 innings of Dan Herron, Mike Dunn came in and had a 1-2-3 inning with a strikeout. Carter Capps a 1-2-3 inning with 2 strikeouts. Now they've turned it over to A.J. Ramos.
Jason Bourgeois is 1 for 3. Ramos trying to put a finishing touch on what has been an outstanding first half for AJ. Count 3-0. Ramos, his first half resume, aside from just the raw numbers, include top 5 standing in a lot of key categories among National League relievers. He's 4th in strikeouts. That a strike there to Bourgeois. His ERA 2nd best among National League relievers, 1.13. Batting average against 2nd lowest at 142. Fly ball right field. Ichiro back there, and he makes a catch. Will this be the final start in a Reds uniform for Johnny Cueto? Some feel he, along with Cole Hamels, the best starter out there on the trade market. Will Cole Hamels ever be dealt? Seems like the last year and a half his name is front and center.
Cole Hamels and Jonathan Papelbon are still Phillies.
It's a weird deal with Hamels because he's got a long-term deal, which means if you're going to trade for him, you have control of him, and you're going to have to give up more than just a 3-month rental.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal. I mean, yeah, it's good money, but it's a pretty good deal money-wise.
And the Phillies, at the same time, if they are going to rebuild and they want to have an anchor in their rotation, well, you've already got one who's going to be there for 3 years. Here's a 1-1.
Some will say, though, it's going to take the Phillies that at least many years to rebuild back up.
So if you can get young players and shed that salary, gives you a little more flexibility and some young talent. 1-2. Swing and a miss. A.J. Ramos doing what he's done all first half. And that has become a superb closer in the National League.
Those are things Andy McPhail will have to deal with. There's the slider. Sometimes the curveball is the devastating pitch. Sometimes it's the fastball. Sometimes the changeup for A.J.
Brandon Phillips swings and misses. Well, another big day for the Marlins. And a point that you made, I want to say it was the second inning, probably won't be written, may not be spoken, but is an enormous factor in this game. And that is the ability of Dan Herron to manage the game when he didn't have his best stuff. Check swing went around. A.J. Ramos strikes out Brandon Phillips. And the Marlins win it 8-1 and win this series 3-1. Another big day for Justin Bour and Casey McGee. And the Fish are 8-1 winners.